Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Aliyah binti Razali. My metric number is 1170504. So today I'll present to you on my proposal.
My research title is Preliminary Study on the Level of Muslim Yas Understanding in UiTM Puncak Alam Concerning Ideology of CIS and its Influence on Their Faith. Now, I'll proceed with the background of research. First and foremost, issues that related to the ideologies have been addressed since the early days of Islam. Muslims are often faced with the issue that trying to damage the purity of Islam with the emergence of extreme ideologies such as liberalism and pluralism. In Malaysia, Sisters in Islam or SIS is one of the organizations that has been impressed with the ideology that is based on the principles of freedom and justice in religion. SIS served as a group that advocated the right of equality between women and men, as well as promoting the concepts of democracy and freedom. This group glorifies modernity so much that Islam must be adapted to modernity. In their opinions, the majority of Muslims follow a stagnant traditional conservative ideology and do not give opportunity for the intellect to play a role. Therefore, they want the intellect to be given a role in a broader framework to ensure the relevance of religion in today's world. In this era of globalization, people who are easily influenced and receive a big impact on this process are the youth, because they are among those who are easily accept the external elements without wise censorship. Therefore, the researcher thinks the need of clear disclosures and explanations on the deviation of the ideology advocated by SIS to be exposed among the Muslim community, and a need for a study to be carried out in analyzing this issue more closely to find out the Yas understanding of SIS ideology, as studies focusing on their understanding and its impacts toward Yas are still not clearly discussed. SIS wants to change the mindsets that may hold women to be inferior to men and to increase the public knowledge and also reform laws and policies within the framework of justice and equality in Islam. We can see that the concept of freedom advocated by SIS is seen as distinct from the true teachings of Islam. It is proved through several publications and articles on their website. SIS is seen to challenge the beliefs of Muslims and try to change the image of Islam on par with the Western ideals when they act bravely and urge the government through several memorandums sent to the Malaysian Human Rights Commission, which is Suhakam, such as the demands to reform the Islamic family law and its pressure on the concept of humanism and sexuality orientation. Furthermore, their action in questioning about the whipping for a drink of Kartika Sari Dewi's issue and claiming that the punishment was cruel is one of the attempts to promote their ideology. Undoubtedly, the demand for women's rights is something that everyone should support and take note of. However, if it is done without the reference to the Quran and Sunnah, this ideology will certainly destroy the society. Thus, we seriously admit that SIS is at risk of being a threat that can distance us from the true teachings of Islam. Research questions. First, what is the true ideology advocated by the SIS? Second, what is the level of Yas understanding on the ideology brought by the SIS? And the third is, what is the impact of the SIS ideology on the Yas faith? Research objectives. First, to scrutinize in depth on the true ideology advocated by SIS. Second, to identify the level of Yas understanding on the ideology brought by the SIS. And the third is to find out the impact of the SIS ideology on the Yas faith. Significance of research. So, this study will be a significant endeavor in promoting the awareness among the youth on the ideology advocated by the CIS group. Besides, this study will also be beneficial to the youth who are in the field of Islam liberal studies and also serve as a future reference for researchers on the subject as they can gain more knowledge and increase their understanding. In addition, this study will be helpful to the youth because it helps them to be careful when dealing with the works and ideology of CIS as they have used a special method when studying the text of the Quran. Other than that, this research is particularly committed to share the results of the youth's understanding in the ideology in the hope that this research will give them information with which they can better control their lives and beliefs. Next is literature review. In 2014, the Mufti of Selangor has taken a proactive step by creating the Dialogue Fatwa Perdana in discussing the issue of liberalism and pluralism, while Wan Adli Wan Ramli in his book entitled Bahaya Liberalism dan Pluralism Agama Terhadap Akidah Belia Muslim explains on the understanding of liberalism and pluralism of religion as well as the Sunni view of the ideology to expose the dangers of this ideology on the Muslim faith. Ahmad Muhyiddin Hassan in his book entitled Faham Islam Liberal, Kajian Terhadap Pertubuhan Sista in Islam focused on the concept of pluralism in CIS. Among the liberal issues discussed is human rights. In Islam dan pelaksanaan khidmat nasihat terhadap isu-isu wanita by Hilmiah Muhammad discuss about the implementation of advisory services on women's issues. The advisory service do not require the approval from Sharia law and do not need to practice Islamic legal ethics as an Islamic lawyer. Furthermore, the study of Zulkifli Abdul Ghani and Nur Amani Muhammad Hussein, which is issue akidah oleh Sisters in Islam Malaysia dalam media, highlights on the issue of faith brought by CIS through the media approach to spread its ideology. And also, Farah Wahida Muhammad Yusof and Nur Raihan Nordin had written a research paper about pandangan gerakan Islam liberal terhadap hak asasi wanita, emphasized on liberal plural understanding with issues of equal rights between men and women in terms of political rights, the right to choose a job and the right to seek knowledge. Zaitunah Subhan conducted a research paper entitled Tafsir Kebencian Study Bias Gender dalam Tafsir Al-Quran focusing on interpretation of thematic study on the inequality of men and women, while Nasruddin Baidan in his book Tafsir Bil Ar-Ra'i Upaya Penggalian Konsep Wanita dalam Al-Quran discuss on the themes of the creation and status of women, the rights and obligation of women, polygamy and also Muslimah dress. Other than that, Rifat Hassan in his article entitled Isu Kesamarataan Lelaki dalam Tradisi Islam criticized the ideology in general without mentioning a particular book or interpreter specifically. This article is included in the collection of articles of Fatimah Marnisi and Rifat Hassan in the book of Setara di Hadapan Allah, Relasi Lelaki-laki dan Perempuan dalam Tradisi Islam Pasca Patriarki. Besides, Aminah Wadud in her book Woman in the Quran analysed the concept of woman according to the Quran, while Mazhar ul Haq Khan in his book entitled Muslim Women Victims of Social Pathology discussed specifically about purdah and polygamy using a sociological approach that directly studies on the verse of the Quran. And also Fatimah Marnisi, a Moroccan feminist, in her book Women and Islam, an historical and theological inquiry, sees the existence of hadiths that seem to discriminate against women. Research methodology used in this study is quantitative research. This study, the type of research design and method of data collection applied is a survey in order for the researcher to measure the variables related to phenomena. A cross-sectional survey is the most appropriate research design for the researcher as the data will be collected only once from the sample due to a short period of time. The instrument used in order to obtain the required data is a questionnaire. The selection of study sample area covers the University of Technology Mara Puncak Alam Selangor, and the technique used is simple random sampling, while the population of students in this university is 1,400. Therefore, this study will involve 170 respondents. Last but not least, the data collected will be analyzed using SPSS computer software, and this study will use descriptive analysis of frequency and percentage in order to explain the finding. That's all from me. Thank you.